Imagine you are given the choice of where to live and told to settle for nothing except precisely what you want. Wouldn't you choose an idyllic town where the homes are large with big green front yards, where you can park next to a Lexus or in your two-car garage? Perhaps you'd like somewhere with family-owned businesses selling bread for $8.19 a loaf, or bagels for $7. Your children can go to the new $100 million public high school and receive a free laptop for use during the academic year. It's almost utopian, right? Alexandria City is a suburb of the nation's capital, and every bit the comfortable nesting ground it presents itself as, at least to some.
Poverty is an issue in Alexandria because I grew up on the west side of Alexandria, which is not the worst neighborhood to live in if you compare it to Chirilawa or like Delray and places like that.
And we're just in a metropolitan area. Everything's going to be expensive. So some people just move here looking for a job and they don't find one, so they have nowhere else to go.
33.6% of the population, or 1 in 3 people, are living at or below the poverty line. Of that percentage, 1 in 7 are children. Public housing provides resources for not only the 5.4% of the population who are unemployed, but also those making less than $22,540 a year. Food stamps and welfare are a bustling business in a city where the middle class is an endangered species. The effects of multi-generational poverty are becoming an epidemic as incurable as cancer. Children are finding it more difficult to overcome this genetic poverty.
I think a lot of people are in poverty because they were born into poverty. So it's a cycle. So if you were born into poverty and your mother lived from paycheck to paycheck, or your father or whoever raised you, you usually don't know a better way of life. Usually you think, okay, this is the only thing that I can do, or you're not motivated to do it because you don't have anyone to motivate you.
I was raised by my father and my mother when I was at a young age, but my father left us when I was about 9 years old. So after he left, my mother had to get like 2 to 3 jobs. So I barely got to see her.
It's very likely that the zip code you were born in is the zip code you will die in.
Fearful nights and bad opportunities abound in poor neighborhoods, while street parties and carpools dominate another. The children meet on common ground, the schoolroom.
Most people are poor due to lack of education.
The only way I really had fun was to go to school and like learn stuff and start reading, start collecting books and stuff.
I've been teaching here in Alexandria for 8 years now, and I have students who can't even afford to buy new shoes or can't afford to get a binder for their class.
Alexandria's pockets of poverty, the moniker given to areas such as the West End and the Old Town projects, are juxtaposed against new apartments, businesses, and community centers. The growth of development in Alexandria has become a controversial issue as the impoverished are being forced to relocate so that something richer can occupy their space.
In Alexandria, you can really see the inequity.
Many of the elderly have been forced to leave. Many of the Latinos, African Americans, even others who were working class whites have had to leave as well.
I think that you can see that inequity in the hallways.
The economic gap is visible and splits the Old Town neighborhood down the street. Alexandria City supports a cosmopolitan group of people where some can pay $7 for a latte and others are wondering when they'll be able to afford a home of their own.
The experience that I had with poverty definitely makes me know this is not a way of life. I could not imagine, I'm 37, I couldn't imagine going the rest of my life with the few years that I had the economical hardship. I couldn't imagine living the rest of my life like that.
I believe that poverty affects people personally because it doesn't allow them to go out and experience things.
The real solution is empowering people to really transform their lives.
There's nothing as simple as the good, the bad, or the ugly, just the desolate, the struggling, and the fiscally assertive. .6% of the population, or 1 in 3 people, are living at or below the poverty line.